So what is Visual Studio App Center, and what does it have to do with mobile DevOps? You may even be asking, what is mobile DevOps? Or what are mobile DevOps? Are they plural? How might I acquire many mobile DevOps? Or is just one enough? One grande mobile DevOps, please. Coming right up. I'll address those questions by starting with the evolution of mobile development, because it's come a long way. From the days of cowboy coding a native app into the store to cross-platform development with distribution of builds to a team of testers who sign off on the app before it goes anywhere, maturity of the app dev lifecycle has led to more prevalent use of tools. Development teams use DevOps tools to help them embrace better processes and best practices. And if they're lucky and smart about it, it makes their job easier too. Best practices are easier to implement when there are just one or two developers in the kitchen. The builds, tests, and app releases happen in a simple environment where there isn't much risk for overlap or miscommunication between team members. Although on some days, I think that software development is really the art of miscommunication. Most mistakes in this limited context are easily recoverable, and processes are created and changed as needed. And first, there is the build. It takes place initially on a developer's workstation, and that's dandy until there's more than one developer, and someone needs to be the buildmeister and be responsible for the team's builds. That can work quite well until an agile team needs frequent and regular builds, at which point a configuration management tool is handy for automating the process, such as Visual Studio Team System or Jenkins. This and many of these so-called evolutions should be familiar to you if you did web development way back in the day. We went through almost identical DevOps growth. So, after the build, there's testing, which starts on your developer machine with simulators and whatever mobile devices are on hand. Then testers may become involved with regular builds going out to them to install on their various devices. When there's a perplexing problem reported by a user that can't be reproduced by the team, it comes time to enlist friends on Skype to try it on their devices. At this point, it's probably time for a mobile testing tool like Test Cloud, a way to test on literally hundreds of physical devices before approving a release. Which brings us to distribution. The first build goes to the developer device. By now, you may have detected a pattern. Mobile DevOps is all about sharing. Sharing our app, sharing features, sharing bugs, sharing lots and lots of bugs. You're so very welcome. Would you like another bug? There are plenty more where those came from. Don't mind if I do, say the testers. They come next, receiving a build to test. Until someone gets tired of manually distributing the build every single time and tools come into play like Apple Connect using TestFlight, Google Play using the developer console, or Hockey app for a little cross-platform action. And there we've evolved the entire basic developer workflow. Build, test, and distribute. All this evolving leads to a new problem, a heaping pile of tools. Now, we have some process automation and best practices, but the steps can be disjoint, not well integrated. Why can't we measure best practices by the most tools? It's too bad we can't win that way. Which brings us to the product of the hour, the Swiss Army knife of mobile DevOps. Visual Studio App Center. App Center gives us build, test, and distribute inline and integrated. App Center Build, App Center Test, and App Center Distribute. Once your app is in the store, you can monitor it with App Center Analytics and App Center Crashes. Plus, no more decentralized push notifications using all the proprietary PNS systems. App Center Push Notifications provides a central API serving notifications to Google, Apple, and Windows push notification hubs. And with Visual Studio App Center, we can do CI, CT, and CD. As James Montemagno, Principal Program Manager of Mobile Development Tools at Microsoft, has said about Visual Studio App Center, it does continuous everything. And what does everything look like in Visual Studio App Center? Let's take a look.